Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. I wanted to do a video about egg care. Now, this is not supposed to be exclusive to ball python eggs, but as I have the most experience with ball python eggs, that's what I've got in front of me here. So, but this could apply to, at least some of the things I talk about, apply to any reptile eggs that you are keeping. But this is a clutch of ball python eggs, okay? This is, Muriel, who's a pied, to Lava Gold, who's our Orange Dream, Pinstripe, Spot-Nosed Clown. Okay? Now, look at the date. This is important. These were laid on February 9th. So, to me, I was just peeking in at these eggs, and I noticed they are getting dimply. And it is only the middle of March. These should have another month to go. I don't like it. Okay, I'm uncomfortable with them dimpling enough that, you know, the whole egg is starting to look like it's collapsing a bit, especially towards the ends, which are closest to the air holes. That's where the driest air is going to be, right? So, what am I going to do about it? I have here some damp sphagnum moss, okay? My eggs are suspended over wet perlite. I am going to add some water to the perlite, just in case it's getting low and has mostly evaporated out. But I'm also going to put in a little bit of moss. Okay? Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh my gosh, but that makes me nervous. I don't want anything actually touching my eggs. Well, you know, this incubation setup where they're suspended and not really touching anything is not how they would have evolved in nature. Now, I know that we can sometimes take processes that in nature are a certain way and we can make improvements with, you know, having things be sterile and whatnot. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that in nature are going to die that we can keep alive and healthy with modern medicine and so on, right? So I understand that. However, I've done this enough times now to where I'm confident in it. I've never had this method cause me any problems. You know, knock on wood, maybe it'll happen this time. I hope not, because I'm really anticipating this clutch with a lot of excitement. But I would rather combat the dryness, even if there were some sort of risk of molding or anything. Now, with the sailfin dragon eggs, we are far more aggressive than this. If there is even a hint of drying out in any way, shape, or form, we come in and we add a ton of water, right? We have noticed that too wet has never lost us a sailfin egg, ever. Too dry has lost us a lot of sailfin eggs, okay? So, after a month of incubation, over a month of incubation, I wanted to come and open up these eggs anyways, because I like to open up the lid and get them a whole big fresh air exchange, even if the eggs look perfect. So this timing is I'm happy with anyways. I just don't like that they had all this dimpling, right? To me, it's too early. That should only start once the babies are so big and developed that they are just taking up so much of their liquid in there into their bodies anyways as they develop. Then the eggs should start to dimple. But that to me is like the last 2 weeks of incubation kind of thing. I think it's too far out for them to start drying out like this. So I'll add the damp moss. I'm gonna go get a cup of water. But it's important that you realize not all species eggs behave the same way, right? There's just no good substitute for experience. I'm comfortable doing this now that I've incubated enough clutches of ball python eggs. The way we treat sailfin eggs is different, but we're comfortable with that because we've done it enough times, right? So, that being said, I do think you want to be careful because I know that mold has killed eggs. And these are going to be in the incubator long enough that they're, you know, they still could develop mold problems. I'll be careful. I will check on them. But right now they look, I will be more comfortable moistening them up, right? So, the other thing that would maybe concern me is that they could run out of air with only these 2 little holes, and now I'm taking even more of their airspace up with moss. So I will probably, here in a week or 2, open them again for one more time of fresh air. I don't know that that's crucial. That's just what I've always done, and it's always worked well for me. Our hatch rate has always been really high, so I don't want to, deviate too much from what's working. But I also don't want my babies to dry out and have perfectly healthy babies not make it in the last day or 2 because they literally just dried out. That would be terrible. So that's all I wanted to do. Just a quick video on this little egg care idea. By the way, those of you who haven't seen before, these straws are holding the eggs in place so that even if I pick up the egg tub like I did today to pull them out for you guys, the eggs won't roll or anything. They will stay oriented exactly like they are. They're the opposite of bird eggs that want to roll. They need to roll, right? Reptile eggs should stay put after they have kind of set, right? So the mom lays them. Of course, they're going to get jostled a bit, but fairly soon thereafter, you want them to just stay oriented exactly like they are. Many of them will adhere to each other. I obviously have peeled them apart so they lay flat. But the straws, if any of you are wondering, that's just stuck down into the perlite so that they can't roll. Anyway, that is all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we are the Reptile Barn.